Yeah. Okay. What's going on, fam? It's your boy Lil. And as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about 7 different daily habits that'll turn your life from ordinary to extraordinary. I don't like wasting too much time. We're about to go ahead and get into it. This video could be simple, soft, and short, or it could be complicated, long, and extended. You see what I'm saying? That all depends on me. That all depends on what type of vibes I'm feeling and what I'm willing to do. You see, now, when we keep it simple, we keep things light, for some reason things come faster. The video ends sooner. But if we get complicated, I'm giving the bar right here. The second we start to get complicated and we want to elongate things take longer. So that's why today I'm giving you guys simple habits. I'm giving you guys simple things that if you started doing today, your whole life would change, right? So you're probably wondering, if you're wondering, why should I change my habits? Why should I change my daily habits? And I'm going to explain to you why exactly you should change your daily habits. I'm going to keep it simple, short, and sweet. It's because if the life you're living today, if the life that you're experiencing today isn't the life that you want to live and experience, that means you have the power to change it. And also, it means if you changed your daily habits, if you switched up what you did on a day-to-day basis, everything would change for you. Jim Rohn once said, rest in peace, if you want your life to change, you have to become better. If you want your life to be better, you got to be better, right? And it's not to say that with this better thing that you're a bad person and, oh, I'm already a good person. What do you mean I need to be better? Nobody's saying that. But I am saying that everybody can choose better habits that will lead to better results, right? And these are habits that you can start implementing today. It's things that you can start. Some of these are things that you can start doing today. And some of these things are things that, might take a little longer, depending on who you are, right? But these are all things that we can change today that will lead to a more fulfilling and a better experience livelihood, right? So the first one, right, is to eliminate the word try. It sounds simple, sounds easy, but it takes time to do, and you can start doing it today. It's very simple. Eliminate the word try. Too many people spend way too much time trying to do things. Saying, oh, I'm going to try to be married before I'm 25. I'm going to try and buy a house by the time I'm 30. I'm going to try and get in the gym on New Year's, January 1st. I'm going to try and lose 30 pounds in 30 days. We spend too much time talking about how we're going to try to do something instead of making a decision to do it. The word try leaves way too much gray area. It's like you're taking this 50-50 chance. You're flipping a coin on whether or not you're going to do something that could lead to something that's good for you. Stop trying to do things and start making decisions. Start making a decision to take massive action on the things that you want to do in life. If you want to get married, you got to stop trying to get married and start being intentional about marriage, about being a person who is worthy of marriage, who's worthy to be a good spouse to a man or a woman, to be a good partner. If you want to lose weight, you got to start being intentional about hitting the gym, changing your diet, choosing healthy habits rather than choosing unhealthy habits, right? 2 is to become consistent, to become a consistent person, not just be consistent, but become a consistent person, right? Consistency is there's a power to consistency. There's this power of showing up that if you just keep doing it over and over again, no matter what the experience is, something great will come out of it. Every successful investor says, when you see a drop in the market, stay in. That's the time to double down and put even more money in it, because long term the results are going to come. If you go to the gym one day out of the week and spend 2 hours in there, it's not going to do anything for you. But if you go to the gym six days a week for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's where the real results are going to show up. If you go to a martial arts class once a month and you learn how to put somebody in a double knee leg lock, you might be practicing how to do it, but when it comes to being in a real life situation, you haven't put in enough time to be able to know how to put somebody in a double leg knee drop twist lock like you're really supposed to. You see what I'm saying? There's this power in consistency. There's this power in showing up. I might write a book about this. That might be my third or fourth book. I've written 2 already. Actually, I already know what my third one's gonna be. This might be my 4th book I did. Showing up, the power of consistency. Step 3, change your environment. I'm gonna explain to you guys how powerful your environment is and how easy it is to change it. Right? In the short term, it might not make too much of a difference, or you might not be able to see what I'm talking about. But maybe let me just break it down. Let me break it down real quick. Changing your environment, how important it is. If I'm sitting in my living room playing the game, right, completely focused on this game in my living room and what I'm doing, right, and I were to get up and walk outside, what is that? Changing your environment. You went from experiencing a situation where you have a game system and a TV and a couch that you're able to sit on and experience one thing. But the second I get up and walk outside, the game is no longer present, the TV is no longer present, and the couch is no longer present. Therefore, I'm in a completely different environment and I'm able to experience a completely different thing. And the point I want to make about changing your environment is that if you want to be a lawyer, you need to get in rooms with lawyers, because that environment is going to allow you to experience something different. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to get around entrepreneurs, because the entrepreneurs are going to give you an experience that only entrepreneurs are going to give you. And those experiences is what leads to the motivation that builds discipline to be able to do what they're doing. Whatever it is that you want to do with your life, you need to get yourself in the environment to be able to experience what you need to experience to get the motivation to do what it is that you want to do. Environment is necessary, and the environment that you're in is key, right? Because you're not gonna change your environment. You're gonna conform to the environment, right? The environment is already there. The people are already there. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything here is here, right? You just got to get yourself in the right situations, in the right environment, in the right rooms, right? That are gonna give you the tools, the motivation, the thought process, the mindset that you need to achieve what you want to achieve. Step 4, audit your friendships. This out of your friendship. This is a chapter in my book, No More 9 to 5, Breaking Free from Clocking In and Clocking Out. This is one of the chapters of my book, Auditing Your Friendships, where I name 3 different types of friends that everybody has. You have your positives, you have your neutrals, and you have your negatives, right? Your positives are going to be somewhat of your know-it-all friends. It's going to be your friends that are kind of already established, right? It's going to be your friends that all they do is want to encourage and motivate you to do whatever it is that you say it is that you want to do, right? These are your positive friends. These are your friends that always have good energy. These are your friends that you always want to be around, that every time you see them, it just brightens your mood and brightens your day, right? These are the friends that honestly you want to be around the most, because these are going to be the friends that help you get to where it is that you want to go. And then I have your neutrals. You have your neutral friends. These friends aren't necessarily bad for you. These friends aren't necessarily good for you. These are just folks that just be around. It's people that they look at you and they see somebody that they want to be, right? Whether they admit it to you or not, you motivate them and you inspire them, right? These are going to be people that, you might walk up to, shake hands, how you doing? I'm good, how is you? And then you move on. That the conversations are about, hey man, last night I went out to Varsity and the hot dogs are kind of greasy. Oh really? I went out to this other restaurant and got chicken noodle soup and it was the best chicken noodle soup I ever had. These are neutral conversations. These are neutral experiences that you have with these friends. And then 3, you have your positive. I mean, you have your negatives. These are the hating. These are the haters. These are the ones that you gotta watch out for. Sometimes their advice might be them pouring corrupted seeds into you, and then you end up following their advice, and then you end up in a worse situation than you were in before. These are the people who aren't looking out for your best interests. These are people who only want to be in your business because they want to be able to have something to go back to whoever and talk to you about. These are the folks that you want to eliminate from your life. These are the folks that sometimes you gotta love from a distance. So you have your positives, you have your neutrals, and you have your negatives. It's time to audit your friendships and identify who in your friend group is who, so that you're able to know how to maneuver through your circle. Especially if you got a muy grande friend group, it's time to let some people go. The more people you got in your life, the more people you got to impress. Oh, let me have a sip of coffee, baby. The more people you got in a circle, the more folks you feel like you got to impress. That's another thing. Let me add in an extra bar. You got to stop trying to impress folks. The only person, like Moneybagg Yo song, he titled "Me Versus Me." That's all it is. You got to stop competing with other people, because those other people ain't competing with you. They probably looking at somebody else trying to compete with them. The majority of people do not care about what you got going on for the most part. They care about they have way too much going on in their own lives to worry about what you got going on in yours. See what I'm saying? So stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to impress family members. Get out of that mindset. Get out of that thinking. It's me versus me, not me versus you. 5th tip is to educate yourself. If you're not reading at least 15 pages of a book a day or listening to a podcast a day, educating yourself, expanding your thoughts, learning something new about what somebody else has learned, what are you doing? I heard it broken down like this to me when I was 21. When I was 21 years old, it was the first time I ever read a book from front to back. They said, if somebody spent 5 years of their life learning and educating themselves about one thing, and then you read 5 years of experience, that person's 5 years of experience in 1 hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours, in 3 days, you now just gained 5 years of experience in 3 days, in 2 hours, in 30 minutes. I was like, man, if time travel was real, I just experienced it. The ability to go into the past or go into the future and accumulate knowledge and information that I didn't have and didn't know in an hour or two, in a day or two, in a week. That right there is a blessing. Why? Because people say knowledge is power. What you know is what's going to get you to where you want to be. Especially if you take massive action, if you apply it to your life. Because it's what you don't know that is leading you to failure. That's why you got to have a coach. That's why you got to have a mentor. That's why you got to have therapists. That's why you got to have people who give you great advice, sound advice. That's why you got to have an education in order to go into business management. Well, I don't know if you have to have that. That's why you got to have a law degree to become a lawyer. That's why you have to be a doctor to become a doctor. It's because there are things that you don't know that you need to know in order to get the right results. We have to be educating ourselves. So one thing that you can start doing today is find a book about something that you've been curious about. 15 pages a day. That's 15, maybe less than 30 minutes, less than 15 minutes a day. You can read something that's gonna expand your thinking. You can listen to a podcast that's gonna brighten your mood or expand your thinking or teach you something about something that you've never known before. It's that easy. Educate yourselves daily. It's important. I read this book by Thomas Sowell, and a fact that he presented in there is that the biggest predictor of success in The biggest predictor of success in the black community is whether or not that person has an education or not. It's the biggest predictor, right? Now, of course, there are going to be exceptions. People who don't have degrees or people who don't really read that much that end up being successful. But for the most part, when we're looking at a prediction to win, all I have to do is educate myself, and that maximizes my ability to achieve success in life. Okay, that might be the road I go down. So educate yourselves. Whether it's a podcast a day or 15 pages of a book, I would recommend you do more. Try to get half a book in a day or a book in a day, right? If you like audiobooks, I like audiobooks. When I'm at work, I listen to audiobooks all throughout the day. Audiobooks and podcasts, and I have YouTube Premium, so I can just, you see what I'm saying? Like, audiobooks, YouTube, I listen to YouTube for my podcast. Sorry for that. Yeah. But audiobooks or YouTube. Or if you like to sit down and read, which I think is extremely peaceful, taking my book out to the park with Carter, my dog, on a walk, sit down somewhere and read a little bit. It's extremely peaceful. I love it. The fact that I'm able to focus on one thing, right? And as I'm reading, especially if it's a gym, you know, like dang, like really processing things. Yeah. So educate yourselves, right? My point 6 is be willing to wait. Patience is the number one predictor of success, in my opinion. Anybody that is willing to wait. The Bible says faith without works is dead. You gotta have faith. You gotta be willing to be patient. You gotta be willing to wait while in the process doing the work. I have 6 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I just want to give you guys a really quick example. I have 6 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Me being a competitive person, of course I want more, right? Of course I want to be able to compete with all the other, people in my niche that are, doing numbers or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because it will prove that there's value, a lot of value packed into the content. Of course I want the numbers, but I ain't got the numbers right now. I got 6 subscribers. But does that mean I'm going to stop making YouTube videos? No. Why? Because I understand that I have a goal in mind. And in order for me to reach that goal, I got to have the faith that it's possible while at the same time doing the work. Because if I don't do the work, it's 100% impossible. However, as soon as I have that faith and then I'm willing to do the work, I know that I'm taking steps towards the goal that I have in mind. So you have to be willing to wait for it. Because it's not going to come like this. The last thing you should want is fast success. The last thing you should want is success overnight, because you didn't have to do anything to get it. So if you lost the success, the fame, the notoriety that you have, you would have no idea how to get it back. But if you take this day by day, step by step, and you watch yourself become who you want to become, if you lost it all overnight, you could look back and say, dang, I did this, I did this, I did this, and I did this, and boom. You'd be able to get it back like that, even faster than you had before. So you got to be willing to wait. And the last thing, tip number 7, is homework. And this is homework for y'all that are really trying to make some moves, that are really trying to have a drastic change in your lives today. And the homework is to write down one thing that if you knew you changed, that you switched up, that if you start moving some type of different way today, write down one thing that if you changed in your life would change it for the better. Write down one thing. If I change this today, I know my life would change profoundly. If I told this person this today, it would change profoundly. If I started going to church today, one thing that if I just open up my Bible and started to read, if I went and bought the book that I know if I bought about stocks, it might just teach me how to trade. Hey, write down one thing that if you made the decision today to do it, it would change your life drastically. That's all I got for you guys pertaining to these. Now I do want to Just dropped this really fast. I just released a book. It's called No More 9 to 5, Breaking Free from Clocking In and Clocking Out. If you guys are interested in buying the book, which is essentially about how to set goals, how to tap back in with yourself, and how to move. How to move in life, how to maneuver in life, how to not just see the goal in mind, but achieve the goal in mind. I'm going to leave a link in the description for you guys to purchase the book. And it also comes with a goal setting sheet, a smart goal setting sheet that you guys could use to write down whatever the goal is and how to achieve it step by step. Thank you guys for watching this video. You guys leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get, I was about to say something, but I ain't gonna say it this time. I'm gonna say it the next time. But yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.